Hi, I'm going to cover how to request the University of Michigan Research Computing Package provided by Information Technology Services. Follow the link off of the UMRCP webpage located at arc.umich.edu/UMRCP. This will take you to the Research Management Portal, in which you might see some existing resources, but in most cases, if you have never used any ARC services before, you'll want to select Enroll in UMRCP. In most cases, your project name will be automatically filled in and should be the unique name of the person requesting the form, who is also the qualified individuals. The logged in person will automatically be added as a project admin. Project admins can make changes to resources that are provided by the package and any other resources you attach to your project. In this case, it adds the person requesting it as the primary principal investigator or researcher or instructor involved with the resources. But you can delegate the ability to add, remove users, change spending limits, or other features in the future by typing in the unique name of the individual here. This is different than the people who can actually consume your resources. This is purely for administrative functions. The next step is to request the actual services that you are interested in. There's a little guide here to help you kind of direct towards based on your data type. So for example, if you're working with only open science, non-sensitive or instructional type resources that don't involve any sensitive information, you can select non-sensitive only, and services for non-sensitive data will be automatically selected. If the only data you're working with involves highly sensitive information, such as PHI, HIPAA data, or other, you can select sensitive data, and it will, again, sort out. And you can actually select both, in which all resources can be requested. For this example, I'm going to use the mixed, as that is the most complex use case. If you select sensitive or non-sensitive only, it will be more restrictive and fewer options will appear. For high performance computing, which consists of different Linux clusters that support both serial and parallel processing, both batch and interactive, you are allocated a certain number of CPU hours. These CPU hours are fungible between GPU, large memory, and standard, proportional to the rates located in the documentation for those services. So in this case, I'm going to select Great Lakes, which is our primary high performance computing system. Because it's the only one I've selected, it automatically puts all 80,000 CPU hours, and I'm automatically added as a user of the resource. So if I want someone else to be able to use this resource, I need to type in their unique name here, and you'll see them pop up. And when they pop up, just select them, and you can keep adding them as users. If I also had sensitive data and I need to split up these resources, I can also select ARMIS2, which is our sensitive data high performance computing cluster supporting PHI and other sorts of sensitive data. If I select that, now another option appears. And as you can see here, it has now split my 80,000 hours between the two resources. I can use these selectors to move in 1,000 hour increments to move resources between the two different clusters. If I don't want this resource and I selected it unintentionally, I can just click it to unselect it and everything is automatically put on the other. So that is high performance computing, and those are the two options that exist. Great Lakes, which is what most users want, and ARMIS2 for those with more sensitive data. Next step is if you have an interest in persistent high performance storage. This is our Turbo Research Storage. If I select that, because again, I've selected that I have mixed non-sensitive, sensitive data, it's going to have two different options, Turbo non-sensitive and Turbo sensitive. If I only had one type, an option wouldn't appear here. So if I select Turbo non-sensitive, give it a volume name. In most cases, please use your unique name. And because I've selected Great Lakes, we'll automatically check the box saying to make this storage also available at Great Lakes. That is not required. I can select other ARC managed systems, such as the Lighthouse Colocation Cluster for faculty-owned equipment, the Globus service for high performance data transfer and data sharing, or other non-ARC systems. Non-ARC systems just lets us know that you should be contacted or that you're going to need assistance to be able to use this storage on your workstation, other server, cloud instance, or any other system. Turbo is supportable on almost any workstation or server system out there. Similarly to the other system, I have to give it to the list of users. So I'm going to, again, type in their unique name. They pop up and I select them and I can add more. Turbo, we're allocating 10 terabytes, and just like with HPC, because I've only selected one, all 10 are being allocated here. 10 is not the limit. 10 is just what will be funded under the RCP. So if you need more space, you can add to the 10 provided by ITS with your own funding source to be able to create larger volumes into the many hundreds of terabyte range. If you select sensitive, it will automatically split 5 and 5. And again, there's a slider so that you can select how much you want to have on each, but it always adds up to 10. And again, it can unselect and it changed the volume name. Okay. DataDen archive works very similarly. Give it a volume name. In this case, again, try to use your unique name and add in users. DataDen is by default in the deep archive configuration, which means it is not accessible from other resources, and you can only upload and download data using Globus. Refer to our Globus documentation and DataDen documentation for how that works. For very large projects, there are exceptions to this rule where it can be directly mounted. Please contact us at arc-support@umich.edu for assistance. Finally, if there's anything that the form could not handle, please put any comments or information that you think is beneficial into the notes field. Lastly, it is required that you give us a short description of the type of coursework or research that this is supporting. This just helps ARC and ITS understand the type of work that our researchers are doing, the type of instruction that is happening, and helps us better tune resources for the future. Finally, select that you understand the terms of usage and that you understand the HIPAA terms, given we are using some sensitive data resources. And when complete, just hit submit. Once your package has been fulfilled, you will receive an email saying that a Team Dynamics request has been closed, and included in that response will be the name of your different allocations. Please share the information in that response with the different users and researchers that you have assigned to your given resources so that they can start using them. Again, if you have any questions, please contact us at arc-support@umich.edu. Thank you.